Well, to venture out into the city or to stay put at home, this is the question that many Cape Town commuters will be grappling with this very morning. But how exactly do people get around given the all-out war on the streets of the mother city as the Santaco-led taxi stairway continues? Thousands have been left stranded, buses have been burned, 2 lives so far lost, while several others have been left injured. How long will this continue is still not clear yet. But one thing is certain, the mother city has been brought to a complete standstill, literally. So eNCA reporter Kevin Brandt on the ground now tracking these developments. Let's cross over to him live now for the very latest. He joins me this morning, and good morning to you, Kevin. I mean, from where you stand, how is it looking in as far as commuters are concerned, businesses are concerned, pupils obviously being affected because they equally have to commute back and forth to school?
A very good morning to you, Tumelo. Earlier on, we were at the Golden Arrow bus depot right next to the Cape Town train station, where a lot of commuters complained about how difficult it is to make their way to and from work. A lot of them also indicated that they last night in particular slept here in the CBD, made some form of arrangement with someone to be able to make their way to work, and they've now worked overnight and are struggling to get transport back home. I spoke to some of the Golden Arrow officials on the ground there as well, who indicated that there is a reduced service being operated, but they are trying to help as many commuters as they can. There's also a heavy police and law enforcement presence there, but also at other hotspot locations identified here in the city of Cape Town, as we've seen over the past couple of days, the violent scenes that has played out here within the metro. But the SAPS, together with the city's law enforcement officials, are out to keep commuters and those who do make their way to work safe. There was also an extended cabinet meeting here by provincial leaders who discussed this very issue in the ongoing negotiations between Santaco as well as the province. And one of the officials who were there is the Western Cape Education MEC, Mr. David Mania, who joins me now live to talk a bit more about this. Mr. Mania, thank you for speaking to us. Can you just give us an update in terms of what exactly was discussed at the cabinet meeting of earlier this morning?
I can confirm that Premier Alan Winde called an extended cabinet meeting to discuss how provincial government handles the taxi strike. And it's an opportunity essentially for departments to give updates. I'm obviously responsible for the education portfolio, and I provided an update essentially along the lines that we have 456,000 learners who were not present at school yesterday. We had 17,000 staff members who were not present at school yesterday. And on the weekend, we were compelled to cancel extra classes for about 14,000 learners. And so the taxi strike is having a severe negative impact on teaching and learning in the Western Cape.
Also, Mr. Mania, just in terms of specific schools, have you identified any schools with regard to concerns over safety, and what is the situation looking like today?
Well, unfortunately, we were compelled to close a number of schools yesterday, 27 schools, disproportionately in the metro and disproportionately in poor communities. But our objective going forward is to keep schools open for 3 reasons: so that we can continue with teaching and learning, so that we can provide places of safety for learners, and also so that we can continue to feed and provide nutrition and support for learners across the Western Cape.
There's also been a lot of WhatsApp messages and fake news going around that is a concern for your department. What exactly is word coming from your office in terms of that, sir?
One of the biggest challenges we faced yesterday was fake news being spread on social media, claiming, for example, that schools were being burnt or attacked by communities, which was completely untrue. But of course, it led to panic, and it led to parents arriving at school to take learners out of school, and of course ultimately resulted in some schools being closed early or some schools in fact being closed. And so we made a special appeal to parents to be very careful of fake news, verify information before taking action, and work with us to try to keep schools open as far as possible and where it is safe to do so, so that we can ensure that teaching and learning continues at our schools in the Western Cape.
Just lastly, sir, are you aware of any schools in particular that came under attack or that was targeted as a result of the violence associated with the strike?
I'm not aware of any schools being attacked. Again, much of this was fake news being circulated on social media. And as I say, we want to work hard today to make sure that schools are open and that teaching and learning continues as normal in the Western Cape.
Thank you for your time, Sir Tumelo. That was Western Cape Education MEC David Mania giving us an update on exactly how he said the schools here in the city of Cape Town in particular have been affected as a result of the ongoing taxi strike. We also know that police are also rolled out in communities outside of the Cape Town Metro, in particular in Stellenbosch as well as in Paarl. We've received an update from the police that there's been an incident where 5 people were shot and killed in Mbukweni in Paarl yesterday, but officials are at this stage unable to say whether or not this can be linked to the taxi strike.
Yeah, and I suppose even yesterday when I crossed to our eNCA senior reporter, Spamantla Koke, he used the word anarchy. Kevin, at this time, quite difficult to actually link some of the criminal activities and the flare-up in violence that we're seeing within the province, whether indeed they are linked to the strike by Santaco or it's pure criminality. I suppose that's the amount of work that lies ahead for the provincial government to be able to disseminate. But we'll be sure, of course, colleague, to come back to you as soon as there are any other developments. This, of course, being eNCA reporter Kevin Brandt at the back of what's been happening out in the Western Cape province, particularly in Cape Town. We've seen Santaco stay away, continuing, but the knock-on effect has been felt in as far as commuters are concerned, employers are concerned, having their employees struggle to get to work or even to make it on time, school pupils not being able to go to school being equally affected, but also we know that Golden Arrow buses, among others, being torched, a driver being shot at, and more numbers increasing in terms of people being killed. But the big question lies, could those killings also be associated with this strike? We'll continue to update you right here on eNCA.